Hello, Internet Nation. Alex and Ashley here. It's like 5 in the morning, and I just woke up way earlier than I wanted to. I'm pretty sure I went to sleep around like 1 or 2. I only got like 3 hours. And the first thing I wanted to do was smoke. It's always the first thing I want to do. But I don't have any bud. So I want to refrain. But also, I feel like there's no reason to. Aside from like the financial loss of it all. Because like smoking is the only thing that makes me okay, I guess. Otherwise I just get caught up in the pain and the feelings and everything else that comes with being alive. And then it all just becomes too much when I'm sober. Because then you're like fully feeling it. And it's easier to just like be high and exist than it is to be sober and desperately want to talk about stuff but not really have like anyone to talk with. So yeah, it'd be nice if I could talk to my therapist about my drug problem, but the last one didn't really seem to want to talk about things. I don't know, like she would just be like, oh yeah, well, it sucks that people are like that, and well, sometimes people can't do what we need them to, and yada yada. She wasn't really helpful, and she didn't really talk about stuff, but she was very judgmental and quick to like talk down about drugs and stuff. And I'm just like, well, there shouldn't really be any judgment in therapy. I should be able to openly talk to you about my drug use and openly talk to you about my feelings and have those feelings respected. Because, like, how are you gonna help me not need drugs when you have such a negative viewpoint on drugs? So you spend all your time talking about how drugs are bad instead of talking about what I got from the experience of LSD or what I got from my experience of taking drugs, or I don't know, maybe focus on the point I literally just told you about why I take drugs. That burp tasted like Cheerios. I had those before I fell asleep. So I never wanted to start smoking or doing drugs in general. But then I started dating this guy, and it was like real big in his family, so then I got into it with him, and we started doing drugs together. That was at like the end of high school. And then that opened a whole new world, because then, you know, you start doing drugs and then finally you feel good. And that just keeps going until, I don't know, you just don't feel good anymore. Well, can you say you never felt good? You don't feel good anymore when you never felt good? Oh no. Probably not. Like even now, I feel the feelings that I feel when I wake up in the morning subsiding. I always wake up to the feeling of like this deep sinking feeling on my chest, like somebody was like sitting on my heart. And it's just like, oh God, we're here again. And you just feel everything, like the tension in my back. I still have my acupuncture mat. spikes in it to increase circulation and blood flow to your wherever it's stabbing. I find that mornings are the hardest because I hate waking up the most. It's like some days I'll just go to sleep and then I'll lay there hoping I don't wake up. Oh. And then I always feel like groggy and my stomach hurts because from smoking. I should really drink more water, but water is so hard to drink. It tastes so gross. Like, everybody likes to say water doesn't have a flavor, but like, there are some people who are like plebeians when it comes to life, and then you have the other people that are super sensitive to everything, you know? You might know. You're either one of the two. But like, I can taste the contaminants in the water. Liquids have different textures to them. Fucking soda is thick and syrupy. Water is usually like the lightest thing, but then sometimes it's not always like pure water because they're constantly contaminating our water sources, so that the people are sheep. That's why we have anarchy now. It's a beautiful thing, but I'm not sure what I'm gonna do when the world is fully on fire, because I don't have a friend whose bunker I can run to when the world ends. So maybe I'll just end when the world ends. Who knows? I'm working on this comic that seems to be playing out. Or I guess it will play out in the future, because it's a post-apocalyptic story. And ironically, I couldn't think of a thing to like make the inciting incident. And then one day I was just like, oh, well, what if this is just a world after Trump became president? And now we're here. So the world might literally end. Society might literally end because society is built on racism and capitalism. And we can't have that anymore. And I'm just like, so like, my thoughts are all over the place. I don't have a lot of answers. I know a lot of stuff about myself, but I don't have a lot of answers. And I don't know if that's because I don't spend a lot of time talking to people about stuff. So I don't really like have a complex understanding of things I barely understand, because I never get to have like a conversation or like a think sesh about stuff. So then it always just feels weird, because then it's like I know I have this desire to smoke because it makes me feel alright. It hurts, causes pain, but it makes me feel alright sometimes. But when I do it, it's to counteract this pain that I've been experiencing my whole life. And like the feeling of loneliness and the fear of continuous isolation. Which I always get so upset when people think they understand what I'm talking about, when it's like, you don't. You don't. How could you? Like, how could you be chilling in a house where you actually talk, like you're living with family, you're living with a partner, some shit like that. You interact with your the people around you. It could be days, and I won't talk to people. Like, even when I was going out and I was working, I would go days, the only people I would interact with would be doormen. And saying an apartment number isn't really much of an interaction. And it's like, even when I was living with my mom, I would just, like, be in my room afraid constantly. So I don't, like, talk to people. And I don't even want to talk to people these days. Because, like, once somebody asks me how I'm doing, usually after... Because, like, why is it that, like, if the people that you know in real life even care to follow up when you say that you're depressed, how come they always have to ask you how you are? They'll be like, oh, I see you just posted a status where you said that you want to kill yourself. Are you okay? How are you feeling? Like, I obviously want to kill myself. That's how I'm feeling. You read the status, right? You saw the words. You saw that. But then it's like people you met on the internet that always want to torture you with their empty offers of hugs. They're always the ones to be like, oh, hey, I see that you're upset because you just said that you're upset, so here's some love. Why is that? Why can't I get my desires to not constantly be asked how I'm doing, where I'm from, all these same questions, all the fucking time? And it's like every conversation starts the same, goes the same, and I'm supposed to what? Indulge in that? To what? To fuel relationships that mostly feel one-sided because I'm not being directly catered to as a person. Everyone's always like, oh, yeah, well, I see that you have needs, but I'm just going to ignore them. But if you could change yourself to fit my needs, that'd be great. Like, you don't have to ask me how I'm doing if I literally just posted a shit ton of statuses expressing exactly how I feel. You could just listen. You could just know because I just said it. You could just show me that you care by taking in the information given, because it's not like you're just randomly like, oh, I wonder how Alex is doing. Let me just message them. It's, oh, I just saw Alex's status. Let me just make sure they're okay, even though I can clearly see with my own two eyes that they're not okay, because it says it right there that they're not okay. So I'm just going to ask them if they're okay to let them know that I didn't read the part where they said they're not okay. I just want to, like, confirm, because I feel like I'm so important that I need you to repeat the information you just said. So not only do you feel ignored, but I can feel twice as important because you gave me the information that you gave everybody else, because I feel like I'm important now because you gave me something directly. But instead of me giving you something directly, I'm going to make your sadness about me so that I can make myself feel better. I'm sure it's not always like that, but people don't realize that shit's like that. Because you can't just ignore somebody's needs. You can't just make somebody's sadness and depression about you. And if you really care about people, you acknowledge shit. Like if I said, hey, can you stop referring to me as a female? And you keep calling me a she? Like it's gonna affect somebody. Just like how I keep saying, hey, can you stop starting conversations the same monotonous way everybody else does? Because it really bothers me. And 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to respond. Because it just really annoys me. Like, I don't respond to your messages because the monotony. It hurts my soul. And I don't want to engage in that. And since I know it's just going to be the same empty conversation, doesn't matter what I say, you're not really going to engage in the conversation. So there's nothing for me here. Nothing at all. So like if I were just engaged in this conversation, that would be for your benefit, not mine. Because I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting conversation. I'm not getting information. I'm not getting anything. We're just making small talk, and small talk is hard for me. I don't like it. I'm not interested in it. There's nothing for me here. So why are you being selfish with my time and my life energy? Like, calm down, alright? I didn't approach you asking you for shit. So don't approach me asking me to compromise my happiness for you, a person who does nothing. I'm like thinking over how I feel, and my body is like, I want to smoke, or I want to like hang out with somebody, but I don't feel like there's anybody I could call that would really help. Like, it would be nice to I don't know, have a friend that I could call, but I feel like every situation with every person always turns sexual. And that's really hard for me to deal with because everything has always been sexual in my life. And it's really bothering me. Like, it really, really bothers me. And it makes me not want to be alive anymore. Because I'm literally only seen as a sexual object, and that really bothers me. Because I feel like I have no purpose. But my entire life I've been used for sex. So it could be argued that my purpose is to be used by others for their pleasure. Because even in my adult life, as I'm fighting to be acknowledged as a person, I'm still being fought back against by people who want to objectify me. And there isn't really like a single relationship out there where I can just like talk to a person without there being some kind of sexual something somewhere. And it's just like, damn, man. What happened to the good old days when people just used to like talk and like get to know somebody, save I wanna fuck you for like the third date or some shit, or for like a steady relationship. Everybody just like, people literally text me to tell me they want to fly me out to use me, and I'm just like, you ain't even tell me your name. The fuck? Like, at least when you buy a product online, you have to enter your card number and your shipping address, so you have to put a name on there to where this item's being shipped to. Like, these people don't even tell me their name before they tell me they want to put their dick in me. And I don't want to hear that. I literally have people telling me, getting mad at me for being upset, for constantly being sexually harassed. Like, I literally just want to be loved. I just want to be loved. I just want a good friend. And every day I get to hear people tell me about what they want to do with their dick. And I'm just like, I'm going to start cutting these things off. I don't give a fuck. I'm going to start murdering guys. Like, the world doesn't need that energy. The world doesn't need these people. So just smack them with a tomahawk until they can't move anymore. And then just, like, take their wallet and walk off. Like, what do you want from me? I'm a fucking person. I'm a fucking person. This shit has been going on since I was, like 5? I don't know. I don't fucking know. My cousin said molesting me when I was, like, young, back when I used to go stay at their house in Belize. Fucking had another cousin who used to molest me when I got older. Fucking Lord only knows the shit I repressed. Mad people used to pressure me into sex. Like, but, oh yeah, no, I understand that you're saying no to my sexual advances. Like, you're legitimately using the word no, and you keep saying no, and now you're saying, I just want to leave. Can I just go, please? But no, I'm gonna rape you. And then later on, when you confront me and tell me that this was rape, even though you literally said no, and it got down to the point where you only had sex with me because I wouldn't let you leave the room. Like, no, that wasn't rape. Like, I've literally had people say, yeah, no, you initiated it. Like, I want to know where the words, I'm not trying to have sex, I don't want to have sex, is initiating sex. Like, how am I going to tell you I don't want to have sex, and then you tell me that you also don't want to, you're also not trying to have sex, and now we're having sex. That's rape, bro. That's rape. Like, when they're like, I don't want to have sex, and you have them, like, pinned down on the floor in your van, talking about, just let me put the tip in. That's rape. You a rapist. You a rapist. And the fact that you were, like, confronted about being a rapist, you're a piece of shit. and should probably die in a fire for being a rapist. I don't make the rules, I just enforce them. And then that never gets resolved, because I never get to, like, have meaningful conversations about the sexual abuse. And the rabbit hole just goes deeper, because I was sexually abused by a group of friends in middle school. And, like, that shit was just so normal, and now I look back at it, and I'm just like, damn. Like, they abused you on the daily, and you just kind of, like, continued to chill with the group, either because the guy I was in love with was in the group, or just because, like, I don't know, I didn't have a lot of friends. I used to bounce around from friend group to friend, from friend to friend, every year in middle school. And then it's like, sexual trauma and abuse just becomes so normalized that it doesn't really mean anything at the end of the day. And it never gets resolved. I just develop more pain, more feelings of distrust, and it never gets resolved. I don't get to talk about it. Everybody just wants to send me off to therapy so I can talk to somebody else about it. And even my therapist was like, oh, well, maybe you should go check it into a hospital. I'm like, damn, now you're trying to send me to somebody else? Like, the fuck? And I specifically told you that that's not going to do any good for me. I don't know what to do, you guys. Because then at the end of the day, even if I, like, talk about it, talking about this stuff isn't going to change the fact that I feel like I have no one to turn to when I need someone. Talking to someone isn't going to change the fact that I need to pay somebody to listen to me or to have a conversation with me. Talking to someone doesn't change the fact that I'm probably going to die alone. Probably a long, torturous, extended event. And I mean, like, when you smoke, you don't really think about that stuff. You don't really feel the soul-crushing pain. Not until you're almost out of bud, and then you start thinking about how you're out of bud, and then the feelings are gonna come back. Because that's always the first thought when I'm low on bud. I'm like, shit, I'm low. What am I gonna do? If I don't have anything to smoke, then I'm just gonna feel that way. But, like, I don't want to have to turn to drugs to feel okay. I don't really know how to feel okay, because I only really felt okay almost once. Ever since then, it's been a struggle to, like, feel normal. Because I can't just go back to, like, the way I felt before. I'd like to, and I try, but it feels like I'm fighting myself. I don't know. I think I already know what I'm supposed to do. I'm just really scared. I don't like being in pain, and I don't want to, like, fail and then, like, fuck up and be a vegetable or some shit. Bad enough, like, if anything were to happen to me, nobody would really notice or care, let alone be there to take care of me if I needed someone to. I really don't like being alive. It's so lonely and quiet. It's like, what's the purpose of being on this planet if I exist completely separate from human existence? If I don't feel connected to the people, can't talk to people, can't share things with friends because I don't feel like I belong anywhere. I feel like I'm not interesting enough for the people I want to be friends with. I don't really have a lot to say because all I really know how to talk about is myself. I don't know how to like manipulate situations like people usually do. All I know is me because I wasn't allowed to do anything when I was growing up. I wasn't talked to. I'm gonna see if I can get some butt at this time. Fuck it. There are a few things I know. I just repositioned myself on this thing and it just like sent pain through my left side because I was only laying on it on my left side. There are a few things I know. One of which is I have to completely detach from society in order to get better. Maybe then I can like slowly stop smoking. If I completely detach, you know? I don't want to detach. Because I feel like detaching is one of those things that would set me over the edge and like make me start killing people. I don't want that. I don't want to be a murderer. I don't have it in me. I'm too squeamish. But I don't want to like lose myself, you know? I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna end this now and try to get some bud. Let's see if I can find someone that's up at 6 in the morning. Well, okay, sriracha. Until next time, Internet Nation, know that you are loved. If by no one at all, me. And hopefully you. And my pal Blue. And you know, thanks for doing your part. You sure are smart. And thanks to me and you and my pal Blue, we can do anything that we want to do. Sorry, I just watched Quentin, I think was it Quentin Reviews? Might have been Quentin Reviews. He did a video essay on Blue's Clues, and that was like stuck in my head because he was doing the farewell thing at the end of the video, but he fucked it up. And it got me really excited because I actually like Blue's Clues, but this is what that is about. This is a sign off. Bye.